Ladies and gentlemen, I bid you a very warm welcome from SIMA 2017 in Paris. We are presenting here for the first time the new RESPIRO pickup merger developed by our company Reiter Innovative Technology. This merger features a very special pickup system which is flexible and therefore able to adapt its shape. For excellent crop flow we have a rotor. This rotor transports the forage to the belt and produces quite regular swaths. Harvesters just love them. Another special feature of this technology is that we have developed a system that allows us to attach 6 double tines with a single screw. This means we have one screw which we use to fasten 6 double tines to this tine cassette. Let me show you briefly how. It's a bit like playing with Lego. You take the components apart, the tine is positioned here, so it can be replaced very easily. When you put the components back together and the whole thing is ready to use again in the blink of an eye, you can then assemble these two halves and secure them to each other with the clamp. What's so great about this method is that we haven't lost a single tine over the last 2 years. At most, the tine can break here after a certain period of use, but they can no longer be lost. And that's a huge advantage of this technology. So why did we opt for such a radical approach? Because large pickup systems are state-of-the-art. We said we wanted a very small diameter, so the forage only has to travel a short distance up to the rotor. This means we have a very high level of crop protection, closeness to the ground, and we can pick up the forage at high speeds. Practical experience shows that we have very few leaf losses, which is particularly important in alfalfa cultivation. So a very important feature of this very small-scale pickup technology is the fact that forage flow comes towards the pickup. It can't go under the pickup because the tines already lift the forage here. The forage is already lifted here and fed to the rotor. Of course, we also have a swath roller here, which holds the forage flow nicely against the pickup. And the elasticity of the system means that we have very little ground contact. Just picture it. The pickup with a working width of 3 meters is guided via gliding discs, which can rotate freely. The working point of the tines is situated directly in front of the skid. Statistically, therefore, there is very little chance of making contact with the ground. And we want to reduce contamination to an absolute minimum. We want to avoid stones getting into the swaths so that the animals are provided with the best possible fodder. Of course, low levels of contamination also have a very positive effect on the quality of the silage. I have already spoken a bit about the rotor. This rotor is hydraulically suspended. This means that when large quantities of grass pass through here, the rotor automatically moves upwards. The rotor has an advance of 30%, meaning that the critical point on the pickup is bridged by the rotor, which pulls the forage off the tines. Because it pulls the forage directly off the tines, we have found an optimal solution for this critical spot. As I said, the rotor and the pickup are driven hydraulically, and it's this hydraulic drive that makes it possible, together with the synchronization between pickup and rotor, for the belt to be run left and right, resulting in a very versatile way of depositing the crop. The belt speed can be controlled from the tractor cab, which influences the width of the swath, making operation in the field highly flexible. Let's get back to the rotor. The rotor is suspended hydraulically. This means we can adjust the loading pressure of the rotor on the crop. We can also use this hydraulic cylinder to lift the rotor. When used on straw, this allows a greater clearance to the pickup to let more through. In addition, the rotor can be fixed in place by the hydraulic cylinder during transport, so it doesn't jump around and stays quite steady. Here we have an integrated suspension system, the Respiro R3 Provi. Respiro comes from the Latin word respirare, which means to breathe. We pick up every single piece of forage and get a very fluffy swath, which increases the quality of the fodder. But back to the suspension. This professional version has an integrated suspension. This attached triangle remains at a fixed height on the tractor. The device is pushed upwards by these control levers, which actually makes it lighter when used in difficult ground conditions. These levers create excellent suspension kinematics. This central cylinder allows the device to be lifted without operating the tractor's front linkage. This means we have a very convenient situation here with the front attachment. The device can be attached to any tractor because the front linkage is set to a fixed height and the suspension is integrated, which guarantees ideal movement along the ground. What is crucial for the pickup system is that we have a ground-hugging guidance system. The tines should not touch the ground. That's why we have opted for gliding discs that are basically free to rotate. Sometimes they turn to the left, to the right, or don't move at all, but they always have the option to rotate freely. The big advantage of this is that we never push earth into the pickup, because it can always flow off to the left or right. And because the disc is freely rotatable, we can get very close to the raking point. And in turn, of course, this is essential for controlling the height of the tine above the ground. Here you can see a belt with a width of 1 meter. That's very important for large masses of voluminous crops, also when used for straw. We have turned straw swaths from a 12-meter table at up to 15 kilometers per hour. You simply need to make a large volume available to do this. There is also a machine with a 700 mm belt. The advantage of this is that the device is closer to the tractor. As you can see here, the machine is driven hydraulically. There is a hydraulic motor on the rotor here, likewise one in the pickup and one for the belt. And we operate the machine with an oil flow of about 30 to 60 liters per minute, depending on the power requirement and where it is being used. We have a single acting connection that drives the machine as well as a pressure-free return flow. The only other thing you need to lift the machine is one more single acting valve. As you can see, the whole technology is very easy to attach. You don't need a power takeoff at the front. This machine, the Respiro R3 Provi, is a machine with a 3-meter working width. This pickup can bend about 30 millimeters for perfect ground hugging and keeping the forage clean. Of course, we have a grand vision for the future. We are currently working on trailed machines because contractors and bigger operations will greatly benefit from it. The front-mounted machine is a beginning. We are working hard on trailed machines and hope to be able to present this new version to the market in the near future. You can find more information of this technology on our website, and you are sincerely invited to contact me personally. My contact details are listed on the website. I look forward to hearing from you. Talking to people who actually use the machines is very, very important to me.